People, all kinds of upset. Exactly as I have foreseen it. It is exactly as I have foreseen. All kinds of upset about me. All kinds of mad about Andrew Wilson. Andrew, you shill. Taking that TP, taking that good TPUSA money. You you could have come over here with us and talked about crazy nonsense for hours and hours and hours. Why aren't you doing that instead? Morons. Good evening, sir. Hope all is well in the Crucible Castle. It's going pretty well. A lot of people upset, but fuck 'em. Here's some money to help you continue on your quest, which I fully support. Yes. My neighbor stalked me because I watch Andrew, and I don't know. I don't. People have just been losing their gourds about me for days. Been hilarious. Of course, nobody wants to mention the fact that all of these various leftist accounts, the primary leftist organization run by Z. Cohen, who both of her parents, by her own admission, were avowed socialists. Both of Z's parents, by her own admission, were socialists. And she dogged the TPUSA campus tour, trying to field the best debaters possible against them. Why is this broad working so diligently with accounts like Project Constitution and others to disseminate that TPUSA had a hand in Charlie Kirk? I actually want to know the answer to that question. I don't understand how that's actually going on and why it is that that's allowed by the oppo side. I don't actually get that. I asked the other night when I was in the space and they just poo-pooed it. They were like, "No, well, I don't know anything about that." It's like, I don't know. Why are there leftist operatives, socialist leftist operatives who are involved? What the fuck is going on here? Now let's see. We got this idiot Baron Coleman. I guess he's their guy. He's their one. But he won't for some reason he won't have a chat with me. It's very strange. Baron Coleman won't have a chat with yours truly. Not really sure why. What I do? What I do? You're either dumb or government shill, Andrew. America would never do a psyop. That's crazy. I don't like. How did you even get to that? No. Can you explain that to me? Like, how did you actually get to? Andrew said of the American government will never do a psyop based on anything that I just said. You know, the problem, and I realize that this is a big problem, right? Like, there's nothing I can do about the low IQ. You know, some of you people are really stupid, and there's nothing I can do about that. Good evening, Comrade Wilson. Former senior airman Andrew Thrasher here. Here's my only contribution to the grift this month. I don't know how Z can call herself right wing with a level of association with destiny. Well, she didn't call herself right wing. She said she wasn't a leftist. They like to make these little micro delineations, right?
I saw that one of the chief critics of Erica Kirk and of TPUSA is now allegedly, by his own admission, I don't think I'm saying anything that's out of school here, on the TPUSA payroll.
I wonder who he's going to say that is.
I will show you an example here. This is
Me? I didn't know I was on the TPUSA payroll. I thought they paid me to go out and teach some people how to debate. If you go and you pour concrete at TPUSA, are you on the TPUSA payroll? I don't know. You're a consolation for the sad fact that Baron, Candace, Ian, and the others will never step up to the plate. Go buy some more smokes. Thanks for the amazing content. It is exceedingly entertaining watching you destroy these conspiracy morons. Well, I appreciate that. Taxes for sending Z to purgatory. It's good for them. Yeah, chief critic. I didn't know that. I didn't know I was a chief critic. I'll go ahead and read this before he does. Has nothing to do with Erica Kirk. She's a terrible leader in FemCon, like the rest of the TPUSA crowd, and a moron. The principle here is this is me denying that there's a conspiracy of TPUSA and donors to Charlie Kirk. My argument here is because I don't think that Erica Kirk would even be smart enough to pull that off. This is the dunk against yours truly.
A guy named Andrew Wilson talking to someone above. As always, Andrew with the worst explanations to defend.
And look at this. Even when I say this, these motherfuckers come in with still trying to defend Erica Kirk and TPUSA. And this tweet, this makes no sense. The man who killed her husband is still going on trial regardless of her forgiving him. I can forgive you and still stop you from doing bad things to me. Like, I didn't understand the take. As always, Andrew, the worst explanations to defend Erica Kirk and TPUSA. I'm like, yeah, f them. I'm still going to tell you what's true.
Erica and TPUSA. How does he respond? Nothing to do with Erica Kirk. She's a terrible leader and a femcon like the rest of TPUSA and a moron. Well,
and so, oh no, what's she going to do? Fire me from my not job?
Ladies and gentlemen, as hard as I've been on these people.
Well, a nice lady, though, after I met her.
And I've suggested perhaps Erica Kirk would better serve her very young children by going home and raising them and leaving the business of running basically $1 billion operation to somebody more qualified. I've never called her, I don't believe, a terrible leader, femcon, and a moron.
Because you're not based, bro.
Maybe if I did, I would get that $15 million payday I've been telling TPUSA I need.
For what? What would they pay you $15 million for? I don't know. Great Legion of Coom video. You're an here's some money. Appreciate that. These people act like TPUSA didn't know that I had criticisms of them before I ever went to TPUSA in order to train their debaters. I don't know. I wonder if people are just really stupid. I don't know. I think these people say that I'm biased and sell out while at the same time showing that I'm not biased and don't sell out. I'll never understand that.
You guys need me. I don't need you. You need me, but it's going to cost you $15 million. Because
TPUSA definitely does not need Baron Coleman. 100% doesn't need Baron Coleman for sure.
Apparently they hired this guy. I'll show you the video where he claims to have been hired by these people. I cannot imagine someone talking about.
Here we go. Here we go. Whack as okay. I'm guessing your pigmentation. This is an L by Andrew. It's insane that he agrees with the narrative. Listen, bro, I'm just going to tell you, I've seen this 100 times. Seen it 100,000 times. Here's how this goes, dipshit. All you dumb are going to jump right on the next bandwagon. Here's what's going to happen. What's going to happen is Tyler's going to get locked up for a long, long time for the rest of his life because the evidence against him is overwhelming. It's overwhelming. And when that happens, this whole this whole Tyler didn't do it thing, that's going to stop. And you'll jump onto the next fucking thing. Whatever the next thing is, that's a trend on the internet. That's what you'll jump on. Feel bad that her husband died and not like her public persona. They say that insinuate why worse than what Andrew twittered. Yeah, dude, these people are crazy. And they're going to jump right on the next bandwagon. I've seen it 100 times. You want to go through the exhaustive list of just since I've been online, the various trends of things that have come up that people, do you want to get, let's start with this. You ready? QAnon. Anybody remember QAnon? Oh my God. I had the same in my chat then. Trust the plan, man. All about Q, bro. You have to understand, man. Q. Listen. You got to understand. There's secret military personnel, and see, the military is taking the government back. They're using their own intelligence apparatus in order to stop the civilian intelligence apparatus, and they're all doing it under the guise of Trump. I heard that for 4 years, man. For 4 years, I heard that same stupid. And by the way, you couldn't reason with those people either. You couldn't reason with them either. You would sit there and tell them, like, look, man, doesn't make any sense. For one thing, if Erica Kirk was involved in Charlie Kirk with a foreign agency, why didn't they just give her a pill to put in his drink? Why? Then it gets really interesting. Well, you see, it's a public display that's designed to demoralize the public, and they do it right in front of everybody because that's the way Satan works, and they just go nuts with this. They just go crazy with it. Somebody answer that for me. Like, if Erica Kirk wanted to kill Charlie Kirk, why didn't she just like slip something in his drink and done? There's way easier ways to go about it than to rig up a microphone with explosives. Okay, you don't rig microphones up to explosives in front of massive crowds that have cameras on it. Like, do you understand that?
And then me saying, we should hire that guy. That'd be a great hire. That'd be an amazing hire. That's who we should hire. Well, he
was an amazing hire. Got a lot of bang for their buck out of me, Baron.
Wasn't done because this is on March 20th of this year.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
March 20th of this year, like 3 months ago.
My God.
Feminists always claim misogyny doesn't protect women. But here I am claiming Erica Kirk is to have participated in Charlie's assassination.
Proving the claim wrong entirely.
Proving the claim wrong entirely. Yes, this is my real position. In other words, lest you think I don't think this about Erica Kirk, this is my real position. And I will devastate. This is my real position, backed with facts. You have facts that Erica is R-worded?
Uh-huh.
I'm happy to hear them.
When can we chat about it? Is the guy ever going to let me chat with him or what? I'd love to talk with him about this. I'm sorry. Love your debate school. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it.
Do a show on him. Would love to hear the facts you have. Real position backed with facts that Erica is this, too R-worded.
Actually, that's not what's being said there. What's being said there is the position of a misogynist should be that women are too to pull off like this. That's the whole point of the tweet, but whatever. It's fine. If that's what you want to talk about, Coleman, I'll come on your show and talk to you about that. But eventually you're going to have to actually answer for your positions here. All this makes me want mainstream TV soap operas to take the audience back from YouTube.
That's incredible. It's an incredible claim. Incredible. I'm genuinely curious. I want to see these facts.
When can we have a chat? Let's have a chat.
But Baron, surely you're done.
Yeah, he's totally. Yeah, he's exactly what he's doing. He's taking it literally. Really funny. These people are so stupid, dude. Welcome to the internet. Is this your first time on the internet? This is the first time you've ever heard trolling on the internet, bro?
Surely they wouldn't hire a guy who said more than that. Oh? There's more? You don't think TPUSA would pay money to a guy who talks like that about women? Settle down, friends. Just talking to Officer Tatum. I see you posting pretty fervently about being some sort of nefarious character for his opposition to TPUSA. I also had opposition to TPUSA on many issues, though I did think Kirk did more good than harm, and said so publicly.
But I did think Kirk did more good than harm. Not a single position have I changed. Not a single one. And I said so publicly. Then I posted the video of me saying that publicly multiple times, both before Charlie Kirk died and after. I don't think that Nick was a nefarious character because he had opposition to big tent republicanism. I never thought so. It was never my critique of, even when me and him were beefing. I thought that the Groyper Wars, in fact, provided something very valuable when it came to who we want and who we don't want in the Republican Party. As TPUSA begins its reorganization, it turns out that their positions are far more based than people once thought they were. They're moving away from the ideas of and Christians. They're moving away from the ideas of feminism. Now, there's always going to be, inside of any of these political organizations, there's going to be Christians. There are. There's going to be feminists. There are. I don't know exactly what you do about that. They're going to get into massive organizations one way or the other. But what should happen is that at least in the public front, there should be massive opposition to those things. And you should be moving away from those ideas. And that is, in fact, the case. You think that TPUSA hasn't seen the tweets between myself and Nick? He was their primary opposition. It turns out that I just happen to be one of the best in the entire world at what it is that I do. And they wanted to have help with their debaters. What does it matter what my ideology is? I'm a good debater. Exceptionally skilled. Or at least so I'm told. If that's the case, why would it even matter what my ideology was? What matters is whether or not I can show you how to debate or not. Rachel says they were remarkably receptive to my input, and Alex Clark had an absolute meltdown about it. So that's how you know things are going well. I agree. True.
Indicating he opposed TPUSA and thought Charlie Kirk at least did some harm.
That's a very twisted way for Baron Coleman to read that. He did more good than he did bad. Therefore, that means he did at least some bad, right? Sure. Nick does more good than bad. That means he does at least some bad, right? Sure. Andrew Wilson does more good than bad, right? Yeah, so that means he does at least some bad. It's like, that's a very twisted way to read that. It's a very disingenuous way to read that, and it's a very uncharitable way to read it. And always it boils down to that, just a complete lack of charitability. And there we are again, just the most uncharitable way. So he at least did some harm, huh? Yeah, everybody does at least some harm, including you. You're going to say that if I said that Baron Coleman did more harm or more good than harm, that's what his fans would say. They would say, so he does some harm then. It's just stupid.
He opposed TPUSA and at least thought Charlie Kirk did some harm. Okay, well, that's maybe
I think we got a raccoon outside.
Doing better. Surely that's it. It's not like you're out there bashing the women of TPUSA or making fun of the Women's Leadership Summit or anything, right?
Oh, no. You're not about to tell people that I bash the femcons of TPUSA and make fun of their leadership summit, are you, Baron? You're not going to tell people that, are you?
The women of TPUSA are making fun of the Women's Leadership Summit or anything, right? Right? You didn't make fun of the Women's Leadership Summit.
I would never. I would never make fun of a Women's Leadership Summit. I would never do that. You can't be talking about me, this guy. Baron, you're not talking about me. I would never do. I would never in a million years make fun of a Women's Leadership Summit. Never, ever.
That was like Charlie's baby. He loved the Young Women's Leadership Summit. Oh, no.
Oh, no. These dastardly detectives got me again. Oh my God. Detective Dip on the job. They got me. Look at they got the smoking gun right here, boys. Almost everyone on that side is completely fake and inconsistent. If anything reads like an op, it's them and their ideas. No. Andrew Proof, once again, he is the true master debater.
Of course, not my thing, but I definitely took on TPUSA feminist bimbos and wrecked them often enough.
Yes, I did.
I would argue in many ways was successful.
What? Where's the lie? I don't know. Like, what do you think Detective Dip here uncovered? What did Detective Dumb here unravel? Hmm? Was I in some rush to delete these tweets? What's the lie here? I don't get it. My wife told them to their face that their women's leadership summit was needed some tweaks, okay? Not fans of the feminist and femcons and TPUSA. I've always made this very clear. These idiots are against TPUSA and actually believe they conspired against Charlie. They should be cheering these tweets on, you would think. Truth is, they want you out of the picture because they're scared to death now. They should be. They should be. So, yeah, I definitely took on the feminist bimbos and wrecked them often enough. Did it all the time. Still would, by the way. Still would.
TPUSA feminist bimbos?
Let me repeat that. TPUSA feminist bimbos. Yes.
Feminist bimbos?
Feminist bimbos. Let's see. They are going to find a cousin's wife of your family from 1600 to prove you're part of the bees in Candace's dream. True.
What? No. Really?
Really?
That's got to be it. That's got to be it. Surely we're done. There's no more. I mean, my goodness. I just told you guys up front they hired this guy.
Yes.
Like, how much can you possibly say about a group and still get hired by them? Well,
depends on if your criticisms are valid or not. Remember how Barron opened this by asking for $15 million to shut up from TPUSA? That's what he's asking for, $15 million, and then he'll shut up. You guys need me. I'm just $15 million, and then I'll come work for you. Interesting. How much bad have you said about TPUSA, Barron?
Apparently even more, because this is the Young Women's Leadership Summit. This is a feminism conference.
True.
Not a single one of these women's ideas hold up under scrutiny. Not one.
I am so awesome, dude. Like, what is even the complaint here? I'm just awesome. Look at this.
Not a single one of these women's ideas hold up under scrutiny. Not one.
Man, never been prouder. No, I'm not Gen X. I'm a millennial. Sorry. Very true. 100%. Andrew, once again, proving his awesomeness. It's almost like I want that culture over there at TPUSA to change, that I don't want there to be a bunch of fucking feminist talking points and nonsense, that I want them to start discussing men's issues in marriage, that I want them to move away from bad positions. It's almost like that. Weird. Very strange. Why would Andrew Wilson want TPUSA to move more to the right? Aaron's got me.
Who's that on the left right there? Who's under my mouse right here? Who is this? No, let me go back up. Maybe I read it wrong. I apologize. Let me get another crack at it here. Not a single one of these women's ideas hold up under scrutiny. Not one. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Not one? Not one of them holds up under scrutiny?
Oh, better snitch to Erica. Man. And the hits keep coming. You imagine Andrew Wilson being against feminism and against certain actions that political groups and organizations may take. And even imagine that Andrew then decides that he's willing to reach across to try to work with them on correcting some of those issues. To even imagine the dastardly nature of a man. What sort of man would ever criticize a group, and then if they reach out to actually hear out the criticisms and make corrections and ask for help with those corrections, go help them with it? Who would do that? What kind of sick and what kind of up political organization would ever reach out to their and say, wow, some of the things you say actually make sense. You think you could help us correct some of those problems? And you say, yeah, I think I could actually help you solve some of those problems. I think I could make some of those changes for the better. It's almost like people can move on their positions. They can move forward with their positions. They can move further towards an ideal. That they're not perpetually stuck in an unchanging mantra. That as politics changes, perhaps you need to change with the times. I said all of this long before I ever went to any TPUSA summit. I didn't come back and delete anything. I didn't come back and say anything different. I sat down with an interview with Andrew Colvett and told him exactly these same criticisms. My wife sat down and told him the exact same criticisms, and he was very receptive and very open to hearing out what we had to say. What the else can you ask for, by the way? What else can you actually ask for? If it's the case that a huge political organization is willing to reach out to people who have criticisms and they're willing to take action on those criticisms, if they're in agreement with them, what the else can you ask them to do exactly? What you lunatics, like this guy, want to do is they want to burn it down. Burn the organization down and try to build something new, which will take 20 years instead of just changing some of the problems with it. One thing I learned years ago from the Groyper War that Nick had on TPUSA was that probably, while ultimately I think that it had a effect that moved TPUSA a little bit more to the right. I know him and Kirk were not the biggest fans of each other. I think, though, that one of the things I learned from that is that if you have opposition that's willing to hear you out, then go talk to them. Go talk to them. And just be straight with them. Here's the issues that I got with you. And you know what? They can be straight back with, well, here's the issues I got with you. Here's some things about our organization maybe you just didn't understand before. Well, maybe that's true. Not perfect. Maybe there are some things about your organization I didn't understand before. That's called being a adult, by the way. That's what adults do. Sometimes you get into criticisms going back and forth between yourself and between other people, between yourself, other organizations. Me and Nick Fuentes were at each other's throats for a long while as well. We buried that hatchet to move on to larger concerns because we're adults, and that's what adults do. Bury the hatchet to move on to larger concerns. How dare you, Smoky Man? How dare you push towards correctness? I know I'm out of my mind, huh? How's it feel to get got? In truth, they probably heard you rant about Turning Point TPUSA into a war machine to crush the leftists. I have been told that such a war machine may be under development as we speak. That's none of my business. But it sure would be nice to see that war machine charging up, wouldn't it? Wanted to see it for a long time. After word gets around that you're working with TPUSA, how long do you think it'll be till the Daily Wire starts asking for guest appearances and interviews? I don't think they're going to like to hear what I have to say, guys. Look, the fact that I was even invited down to discuss any of these issues, the fact that I ever had an opportunity to talk about my criticisms with Andrew Colvett and others is a fluke. It's rare that you see that kind of initiative taken from people who have oppositions to your political leanings. But interestingly enough, Colvett said to me in the spirit of Charlie Kirk, just as he would confront and talk and listen to his critics, it's what TPUSA is willing to do as well. By the way, what more can you ask from an organization than to do that? What is even the criticism here? Andrew has disagreements with TPUSA, and he said mean things on the internet once about its leader, Erica Kirk. Oh, no. Oh, no. Does any of that mean Andrew Wilson's wrong about those criticisms? Does anything about that mean Andrew Wilson's incorrect about what he said? No. No. Oh, he added in hyperbole. He said moron and idiot. Oh, no. Oh, no. Shut up, you douchebag. Shut your mouth. What a puke.
So imagine my shock.
Your shock. Performative shock, of course.
Imagine the shock on your humble host's face when I saw Project Constitution post that they had hired this guy.
Oh, he saw Project Constitution post this. Very interesting. Project Constitution had a small back and forth with me in which Z, the head of America, levied these same criticisms at me. And when I said something back to her, Project Constitution said, the America tour is more like Charlie Kirk than you'll ever be. Very strange, the company that's being kept here. You have Project Constitution, a fat, dysgenic, neck-bearded moron, working hand in hand with the progressive organization, which dogged Charlie Kirk every step of the way. Went on with Destiny multiple times, tried to promote him at these events, tried to promote Dean Withers and Parker at these events as ops. Working hand in hand with a self-avowed socialist who came from socialist parents. Why are they working with these people? Just asking questions.
They'd hired this guy. Here is him telling the story. This isn't rumor. It might be rumor. Maybe he's a liar. I don't know. But here is the true story.
Hey, where'd you go for a week? Well, TPUSA hired me to go down and train its new crop of debaters.
TPUSA hired me
To do one job, like hiring a concrete company. You hire a concrete company to go pour concrete at TPUSA, and that means what? That you're on the dole? You're on their payroll? So let me make it unequivocally clear. I'm not on TPUSA's payroll. I don't even think they could pay me enough, by the way. I'm not even sure they could pay me enough to be on their payroll. Did a guy who's a debater get hired to go teach people how to debate? Unbelievable. Unreal. The smoking guns of Baron Coleman. Genius level stuff that this guy is giving us today. Andrew Wilson. Imagine a guy this awesome going down, beginning to advise or work with TPUSA debaters so that they don't end up moving towards feminism, women's leadership summits, and bullshit. Imagine. Just imagine.
to go down and train its new crop of debaters.
So that's what I did.
The guy who called TPUSA feminist bimbos.
Well, I didn't call TPUSA feminist bimbos. I said that I've destroyed feminist bimbos inside of TPUSA. Just very dishonest. A very dishonest breakdown, Baron. It's not very nice. I'd at least be charitable to what you had to say. Not very nice, Mr. Coleman. Went over to their Capitol compound.
The guy who called Erica Kirk to have participated.
In Arizona. And I started training their debaters.
Mis amigos.
Mis amigos.
Called her a terrible leader and a moron?
Oh, my God. Andrew Wilson talks on the internet. Those tweets are mean. Now say you're sorry to femcons by saying the tweets to their face. Cohen fake caring. What's that about TPUSA is deranged. Yeah, these people want to burn this entire organization to the ground, which is the most massive Republican right-wing youth advocation group on planet Earth. They want to burn it to the ground. They infer that Erica Kirk, her own husband, him, or at least participated in a cover-up of his. You think that she's worried that in a tweet one time I said I thought she was a moron? I think they got bigger fish to fry, boys. I think you're worrying about all the wrong things here.
Erica Kirk.
By the way, yeah, I'm just going to point this out. Right now, currently, most of the bestest friends that I got in this world, at some point or another, I've called a moron. Just saying. I'm just pointing that out. I know it's hard to believe, but most of the best buddies in the whole world I got to this day, I've called a moron. Saying. Christ is God, and God will protect his warriors. However, take care, Andrew. More and more, you're walking behind the enemy lines of your enemies. Stay safe and know that the Crucible crew is 100% behind you. I don't have any concerns. The Lord has always seen fit to give me terrible enemies.